welcome to That Show with Matt Giles. I'm your host, D Extreme Wiley. Oh, D Extra. I don't know. Not the one you're thinking of. It's different D Extra. Alright. Hey, if you like this show, or if you like any of the content that you're seeing on Bricolage Studios here on Twitch TV, go ahead, give us a follow. We're getting real close to the affiliate qualifications, and I think that would be awesome if you were the one to push us over the edge. We got great shows like this one every weekday at 1 p.m. And then we got Tim's Tavern Live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and then every Saturday and Sunday at 11:30. Hey, we're just growing. We're just trying to do good stuff. And if you like it, click that follow button. All right. Today we got Evan Tucker with Tucker Business Services. He's going to be a great guest. We're going to talk a little bit about how coronavirus is affecting business and what he does and where you can find him. Also, later this week, we got Jen Zile from Intimon Theater, also here in Seattle. Melinda Hickey, formerly of the Tom Douglas Group, going to talk about the impact of corona on her and the food industry. And later this week, Dr. Katie Kierna of University of Minnesota. She's PhD in social welfare, so we'll have some good things to talk about. All right, let's bring in Joel and Mason, catch up with him. Hey guys, how's it going?
Going good.
Joel, are you muted? Oh, no, it's on. I can't hear you, though. Yeah, you might want to switch back. I hear you, Mason, though. I'm glad you're doing good. That Tim's Tavern show last night was wonderful. Reggie Garrett. Can you say any more about that guy? That guy is awesome.
Well, the name of his band is the Snake Oil Peddlers. They're great. Great. Yeah.
Yeah. Do they come to Tim's Tavern a lot?
I've never seen him before, I don't think.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but Matt, I don't know. Matt is the one that set that up, so I don't know where he found that guy. But yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah. If I ever hear about him playing a gig, I'm going to be there. He was so good.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Which one in the lineup was that? I forget their names.
He was the third guy with the green background.
Yeah, he was impressive.
Wide brim hat.
I liked them all, but I thought, he was a standout for sure. It was cool.
Yeah, and he had a fan base. He had people coming in from Switzerland and all over the world. Said
cool.
It was like 4 a.m.
Yes, like Switzerland and Wisconsin.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Reaching out. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went global last night. That's pretty cool.
That's right.
All the way to Wisconsin, too.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's global.
That is global. Yeah.
Cheese curds.
Yeah. Ooh. Cheese curds and gravy. Little potato.
I'm
ready.
Did you finish those potato boxes, Mason?
Oh yeah, we get them. They're all done.
Oh, nice.
We're moving right along.
That's awesome. I did not finish cleaning my garage.
Yeah, that's on my list today, actually.
Your garage?
My garage.
Oh, yours is bigger than mine.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. I've been to your house. It's small.
We're still talking garages. Okay.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, because I got projects that I want to do, and I realized, over the last few days that like most of my projects are held up, if not by money, they're held up by space.
Yeah.
So I can't just pull out a saw and saw in the living room. I could. It's really bad, but I could. So I am gonna do something about it. Granted, this is day 14 or 15 of the lockdown, but and I'm just getting to it.
Priorities.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know. Oh, what's that mug? Is it the bunnies again?
Yeah, I brought bunnies back.
Nice.
Yep.
Bunnies.
Everybody's favorite. Yeah, bunnies.
Yeah, I think that's the hit. Best.
Yeah. What are they doing? Playing?
They're playing.
They're playing tag. Some of them are cuddling, comforting one another.
Yeah, it looks like they're hugging.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just like bunnies hug.
Yeah.
Cool. I told you guys before the show we weren't going to do memes because doing it too many days in a row is just too much. But I did find...
We're going to run out of memes if we do them every day.
What's that?
We're going to run out if we do them every day.
Yeah, there's a shortage of memes right now. need to slow the roll. But Colleen, my partner, did send me a link to a cover song of Adele. I don't know if any of you guys saw this, but I'm going to play it right now.
Hello, it's me. I'm in California dreaming about going out to eat just a burger with cheese.
Yeah, I've been missing burgers, man.
Or a shaken margarita, baby back ribs from Chili's. Hello, can you hear me? I am shouting out to neighbors who I used to like to see when we were outside.
I wish I could sing. You ever wish that, Mason?
Is there something else to watch besides the news and Finding Dory? The social distance between us, and I'm freaking out. Hello from the inside. It's just me and myself and I.
Anyway, you guys get the idea.
Perfect.
I thought it was hilarious. His name's Chris Mann. He's also got one called My Corona. You can imagine where that goes. But yeah, it's pretty fun. He's got a lot of talent.
That was actually sent to me today. I just got it this morning.
Oh, really? That's fun.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's good. All right. Well, that was the segment I got for the day. So, let's go ahead. I'm going to introduce Evan Tucker here. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. So our next guest is Evan Tucker. Like I said, Tucker Business Services right here in Seattle. He does a lot with nonprofits, but he also does for-profit. Mostly, I think it's small business, but we're going to ask him about that. Let's check him out. Hey, Evan. How's it going? Oh, shoot.
Doing?
I said I'd mute you. I muted you, and then I forgot to unmute you. Sorry. Hello. How are you?
Hey, doing good. Doing well. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. So, you founded Tucker Business Services like 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, 2015, I think.
Oh, 5. Wow. Yeah. And it's been growing pretty steadily. I know you got some offices down in the Smith Tower. Is that right?
Yeah, we have just a desk down there so that I have a couple of employees, and if I want them working from there, or if we have checks to write and we don't have a client's office to go to, we have a little office, but it's nothing fancy, just something other than my kitchen table,
Yeah, it's a place to go.
Yeah.
Are they allowing you in there right now, or no?
They are. They have really limited hours. It's an office share kind of space. So there's a front desk person we all share, and that front desk person has super limited time. But we have a key, so we can still get in there.
Nice.
As we need to. But for the most part, we're all working from home. We can do a lot of our work remotely. Via people working from home, or even in the past, before all the virus, we'd have a lot of home working or working from other shared spaces, so it works out all right.
That's good. Oh,
yeah.
Where do people find you? Let's start with that. If they want to.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I have a website, tuckerseattle.com. You can read a little bit about us, see a little bit about different clients, and reach out. Hey, there I am.
Yeah.
Looking good. My orange wall. Yeah, that's just our little website. Tells you a little bit about us. Yeah, we're just a little company. It's myself, and currently I have 2 people working for me, and yeah, we work with probably 70%, 75% nonprofits, and everybody's really small businesses. So during this crazy, you know, crazy coronavirus time, a lot of the same questions are coming up for different clients. So it's kind of useful to be able to talk with one industry, talk with somebody in the construction industry about the problems they're facing, and then you go over and I talk with a theater company who I'm working with, and a lot of the concerns are actually really similar.
Yeah, what is that number one question people are asking you?
Right now, it's how do you get an SBA loan?
Yeah.
Because yeah, Small
Where's
Business
the money?
Administration.
That's the question.
Yeah, where's
How
the
do we
money?
pay? How do we
Exactly.
pay our bills?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. So that's the biggest question that's been coming up right now, and there's one that's the disaster relief one that's already been out there. That's a $10,000 loan, or up to $10,000, I think, loan for small businesses. But then the big package that Congress just passed, there's a bunch of money in there for small businesses as well. But the banks are still trying to figure out what that process actually is. So everybody has the same questions right now, just scrambling.
Yeah, sure. Do you know when they're supposed to roll that timeline out for bank, or would it be up to the individual bank?
It's kind of yesterday. It's
Oh,
the money is now available, so it's just the bankers. I'm sure aren't sleeping at all right now, which is fine.
I
They
saw
can do
on
some work for
the
once.
SBA. I saw on the SBA's Facebook page they're hiring like a lot of loan agents and originators and stuff. A lot of them. They're gonna get
There you
super backlogged.
yeah. Did you put one in already, Mason, for Tim's?
Yeah, oh yeah. I filled it out yesterday.
Nice, nice. And
Yeah. So then there's a new one that's just coming out, the one that they haven't yet figured out, which is all about payroll specifically. So it's about trying to keep businesses from letting their staff go. So keep your people on, and the SBA. These new loans that will be coming out, you can get these loans that will help you pay payroll specifically. And if you don't lay people off, the loans get turned into grants.
oh, that's something.
So that's now that was the question I had about that is like my employees are most of them are tipped, they're bartenders, right? So when the L&I is when they're doing filing for their unemployment, it actually takes whatever tips they made too as part of their into consideration. And then on top of that, I think the government's going to give them $600 on unemployment. So, but if I put them on payroll, I'm only going to pay them their hourly, right? So, is it might be more advantageous for my employees to stay on unemployment.
It could be. That's a really good question to ask. The guidelines aren't all out yet, but yeah, we'll have to see when they actually do get fully released whether that is total compensation, which would include tips, right? And I haven't seen any of the language yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you know if any part of these packages has a deal for people who want to start their own business? Like I know often when people get laid off, that the unemployment office kind of encourages them to maybe start their own business. Is this part of that package too, or do you know?
I haven't seen that in what I've been looking at so far, but I've been really narrowly focused on the new payroll protections part that's come out.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
I
What
know that
about
there are. Go
what
ahead.
about the tax? They said the payroll tax was going to be uh, they weren't going to take it out for during this thing, but they took it on our last payroll. They took it out. ADP took it out. So I don't know.
Yeah, that might be an ADP issue. They may not have yet caught up with it. They have to put it through their system. So it's a deferred. Some of the taxes are deferred for a bit, so they'll still be owed, I think, later this calendar year. But the
Oh,
idea is
okay. So
just
you're just taking them anyway.
yeah. So they yeah. So the idea is to try to keep more cash in your pocket for a minute, but they'll still be due a little bit later. Just like there's some banks and lenders are letting you defer your mortgage payments for a little bit, just to some businesses I've seen, but it's
Yeah.
just deferred. You'll still owe it. It isn't a grant. The only one that I've seen that's that could be an actual free money is this the new SBA loans for paycheck protection.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Have you seen whether, like the deferrals? Have you seen whether they're going to be broken up in your next payments, or are they just tagging it to the end of your term?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's dependent on the lender, because right now it's the lenders themselves. So I have one client who's with Banner Bank, for example, and we think that those mortgage payments will be deferred to the end of the loan. So not even
Right.
this year, which would be great. Best case for cash, really.
For sure.
But it'll
For
depend.
sure.
That's the way all of my stuff handled it is I just put it on the back of the loans.
Mm-hmm.
That's helpful. I had
But now
heard
the city
BFA
council
was doing
just
something
passed
different.
the city council just passed that resolution to strongly urge the governor to do a forgiveness of rent and mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be nice.
That passed yesterday. So instead of the moratorium, because the thing is right now, they can't evict you if you don't pay your rent. But at the end of this, if this takes 3 months or whatever, if you're 3 months behind on your rent, but before this is all over, right now we all stand to owe our landlords whatever rent was deferred. It was just a moratorium, but now they're asking to do a forgiveness on mortgages and rent during this time. But I think the governor and the president have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Seems likely.
So the Seattle City Council has recommended to the governor that he, start that process.
And there'll be some big business money behind not wanting that to happen, right? The people who hold those mortgages. Yeah, that'll be tough. That'd be good though.
Yeah, retail mortgages and real estate looks to tank, right? If nobody's paying them, and then that's a whole nother 2008 bubble sort of thing. So they'll want to temper that a little bit, I'm guessing.
Well, the question is, do they have a choice? I mean, you can't get blood from a turnip. If you can't pay your rent, you can't pay your rent. We can't pay our rent right now. We're doing live streams and taking donations, trying to just make our insurance payments, so that when somebody busts out the window, which inevitably could happen.
Sure.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I mean, if these loans come through, it'll be good. I mean, I would love to be able to pay my people.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of clients doing the same thing right now. A lot of the companies I'm working with, you care about your people. If you're a good owner, you care about your people, and you want them to to be able to live, but then you'd also like them to come back to you when this is all over, and when you're able to open up again. Best way to do that is to have the same people working, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's harder to start up with new people and train them and get it going, right? So somebody who knows it already, just coming back to work into it is, I think, 100% better.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've got some nonprofit and some for-profit, but you're always accepting new clients, yeah?
Yeah, just about. Yeah, so long as I meet with everybody who's new, and we talk through what they need and how we might be able to help, whether it's for profit or nonprofit, and we just want to make sure it's the right fit. There's there's only so much time we have, so I've got a few days of the week where I'm in office regularly with certain clients, and that's a good consistent relationship. And so it's some people will I've had conversations with some people, and they need they really need somebody who's more like half time or something, and they really need them in the office. And if I don't have the staff for it, if I don't have the right person to fit it, to do it, then we'll pass them on and find them somebody who works better for them. But yeah, for the most part, we just want to try to, we grow slowly. We still haven't done any advertising. That's I've never been trying to make this a huge thing. Just want to work with some good people, and there's a little niche there. There's small business owners. Some are more savvy with finances and regulatory issues than others. So I just try to see exactly what they need. For some, we provide just like pure bookkeeping. we'll book your transactions, reconcile your accounts at the end of each month. And then for others, we're more like, for example, with Taproot Theater, I'm their interim business manager. So I've worked with them for over a year now, and I'm personally in their offices a couple of days a week and helping them make some kind of bigger decisions. So it really depends on the need, but it's fun. Keeps my weeks different and interesting. I never quite know where I'm going to end up each day.
Yeah, sometimes on a talk show run by your friends.
Why not?
Hey, if you ever hear that Taproot Theater wanting to sell that business, let me know. I love that place.
That location? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mason's in love with a lot of locations because you like the Neptune too, right? You want to buy that?
Oh, yeah. The Neptune, of course.
Yeah. They're both
Beautiful
good locations.
theater.
I mean, they're different, but they're both good.
Yeah.
How is Taproot doing through all this?
Yeah, well, so they're right in the center of this. I think a lot like Tim's, they're dependent on people coming through the door,
Yeah.
and it's a place to congregate, and so they knew pretty early on that this was going to be a problem. And for about a day and a half, there was a little bit of time where before the governor had made the proclamation of 250 people, I think is what it was, for a couple of days. We were thinking maybe if it's a couple thousand, that the big stadiums and whatnot would be out, but some of the smaller businesses would be around, and they were trying to make plans and sort of furiously trying to figure out how to do a theater show with people sitting 6 feet apart. That was briefly in the plans.
Yeah.
And
we were similar at the Rep. Crowds were dwindling anyway and getting smaller and smaller, but we got a big space, and we were like, hey, we could sit them 6 feet apart and make this work. And it was just a scramble to try and figure everything out because everything was changing so quickly, and then it finally was like, no, we can't make this work.
Can you imagine the actors trying to do a show with audiences sitting 6 feet apart from each other?
No, that'd be so tough for them. Yeah.
Oh my god. No. You're always talking about how there are dead spots in every house, and especially if you're trying to get some laughs or something from people, and 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more dead spots than laughs.
For sure.
And Joel, when did we? Because you said 14 days you've been home. When did we stop?
I think my last day was the 15th. Yeah. So it's now 16 days. Yeah.
So we had
16
out of
days,
town actors too that finally today, the last one finally made it out. It was that much of a scheduling thing to try and get them all out. Yeah. It's just been crazy.
Yeah. Taproot had to. They moved around their season a lot, so they were just about to open a production, and obviously they didn't open that production. But now they're doing that same show in the slot where the next show was supposed to go into, because it's all rehearsed and the sets are built, everything's ready to load in. So yeah, it's something, man. I don't know. And then we'll see.
I know. I think about that. The theaters that had production, all the people that had productions ready to go, and like the festivals, and so much money lost.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then all of the restaurants nearby who, generally bank on people going and getting a drink before and after the show, eating food before the show, and there's nothing. Just brutal.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that later this week with Melinda Hickey, formerly of the Tom Douglas Group. She worked across the street from the Paramount. Is that right, Joel? Yeah.
Yep, Paramount.
Yeah. But yeah,
so their business relies heavily on the Paramount traffic. They're downtown, so it's a lot of downtown convention and business stuff too. But when the Paramount is in, they are nonstop for the entire run of the show. So, for theaters to close across the street from your business, it's a massive impact. And let alone the impact on the theater itself. But the impact on everything around it. And they're not the only one. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about it later, but like the Douglas Group, it's like what, 14, 12 or 14 restaurants, and the week before we shut down, they shut down, all but two. So and they're serving to-go stuff out their doors in those two businesses. I think Dahlia Bakery and something else is still producing stuff for the communities, bag lunches and shit like that. So it's it's a lot of people. Yeah.
Evan, what do you tell people when they got to make that call of when to shut down and when to keep going? Like, is there a formula, or is it just specific to everybody individually?
Yeah, I mean, it's both. Your formula is pretty straightforward, right? So the nonprofits especially are really budget conscious. The for-profits are cash conscious. So how much cash do I have in the bank? How much do I need in the bank to make next payroll? But the nonprofits are more often looking at yes, what cash do I need over the next 2 to 4 weeks? But then also, what does this mean for our entire year? The nonprofits are judged really harshly on whether they can keep a balanced budget every year, and so it's two different things that we're always looking at on that front. So for them, it's not just can we make this next payroll, but it's also if we make this next payroll, it means that we're incurring these additional expenses and we're not bringing in revenue to cover those expenses anymore. There's no more ticket sales, for example. So on the back end of this, even when we get through this awful time, we're keeping our people employed. We made it with cash, but our budget is still in a big deficit now because we incurred these expenses, didn't come back to revenue. So it's both of those, two different ways of looking at the same problem, both in the short term and the long term. And we just work through it. We look at what's their tolerance this year for having a deficit budget, for having a negative budget come the end of the year. What are what if any are there kind of potential opportunities later on in the year to make up some revenue? But it's tough. There aren't a lot of good answers. There aren't a lot of good solutions right now. It's all just a really make do.
Yeah, and I imagine a lot of smaller businesses don't necessarily have that nest egg to help.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody's working on whether you're for profit or nonprofit. You're working on what's coming in the door. What am I burning on over the next 4 weeks, and what's coming in the door. And when the earned revenue here is gets completely interrupted, it's rough. You've got to start cutting expenses, and your biggest expense is payroll. And as we talked about before, it's not just numbers on a piece of paper. It's actual people, and that's a lot harder said than done. You can look at a piece of paper and say, if you just cut this out, then great, here, that's your solution. But two things: one, there are people behind those choices, and then secondarily, again, when you want to go to reopen, how are you going to keep your high level of service if you have to have all these new people that you're trying to train at the same time?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Well, if you're a small business out there and need some help, check out Tucker Business Services. TuckerSeattle.com, right?
That's right.
TuckerSeattle.com. Yeah, perfect. Well, thanks for joining us today, Evan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, give my best to your family, and have a good one.
You too. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Bye. Well, that was fun. I like Evan. He's a great guy.
Guaranteed he wasn't wearing pants.
I think he'd appreciate that answer.
You know how everybody on the news and everywhere is doing the phone in from home, and they've all got their ties on and everything. Every time I watch it, I mean, none of us have pants on, right? Nobody's wearing pants.
No, I'm wearing pants. They're not the cleanest, but I'm wearing pants.
Nobody's wearing pajamas.
You got pajamas? I need the regular.
Yeah, they're wearing like a suit and tie with a sweatpants, or gym shorts on.
I'm pretty sure Evan's got pants on. He's that kind of guy. I also need that sort of regular, like, hey, I'm still in a routine. I'm gonna put my pants on one leg at a time. I can't give up yet.
Yeah. I've been doing that too, like make my bed, do the,
Yeah.
just try to do my regular routine, get dressed, wear a different shirt,
Yeah. Well, that was a great show. He was a good guest. Couldn't have asked better. Thanks again to Evan Tucker at Tucker Business Services.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give him a call and see about bookkeeping and stuff once we get through all this bullshit.
Yeah, for sure. He's
Seems like
great.
a pretty smart fella.
He is a smart fella, and he single-handedly has helped some of these arts organizations stay open and clean some things up. Okay, he's saying no. I'm sorry. Not single-handedly. He does it with a crew and a team, but he's a smart guy, and I think he's great, and you should check him out. Tucker Business Services. Great, thanks. So tomorrow we're going to have Jen Zile from Intimont Theater. We're going to talk about the impact there. It sounds like it hasn't impacted as much as some of the other theaters yet because it's their off season. So we'll ask her about that tomorrow.
Cool.
That's at 1 o'clock Pacific. And don't forget to follow if you like this stream and check out the Tim's Tavern live, which is also tomorrow at 4. Right, Mason?
4 o'clock tomorrow, correct. There's an event on Facebook about it.
Nice. Do you know the bands yet? I'm not sure I have the names.
I don't know right off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's okay. They're going to be great, though. If they're anything like Reggie
The best
Garrett,
band
they're going to be
ever.
awesome. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
The best band on Wednesday.
There's nothing else worth watching but Tim's Tavern live at 4 p.m.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right on.
That should be our slogan. What the hell else are you gonna do? Watch that show.
Should be. That's a good one.
I like it.
Because there's literally
You know you're not
nothing better
moving.
to do. That's our niche,
That is our niche.
Nothing better.
There you go.
That's
Quick.
what I'm.
Our audience
Right.
is mostly made up of 20 to 50-year-old people who have absolutely nothing to do and are very, very bored.
Get the trademark down and get some T-shirts made, man. Look at the Good Time Dive Bar online. What
No
else are you
pants
gonna do?
required.
That's
Thanks,
fucking
guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, Wiley.
Yeah, we'll see you all tomorrow. My apologies to Matt Giles. No time for you today. Bye.